All right, welcome back to another episode of Kameo with Nevin Webster. I almost forgot the name of my podcast. It's gonna be a little bit more quiet here. I'm in my new dining area with my next guest, who lives in Brock with me. We met years ago through my wife. Technically, I think it was at the Mayor's Gala of the Arts. She took a picture of my wife and I. My wife was, I think, very pregnant at that time.
She was.
It's Emily May of Emily May Photography, who, in my opinion, is climbing the ranks of, becoming a bit of a Kamloops photographer that people know because she's at the events. Were you at the Mayor's Gala this past weekend?
Yep. Yeah, I'm working on those photos today. I'm hoping to have them done by the 26th, but I did send out the media release.
You're very soft-spoken.
Yeah, I get that a lot. So
it kind of happens. You are in a creative, very, because you focus on, family, children, and then you do boudoir as well.
Even boudoir, you don't want to be like yelling at them. So
yes, so I have to bring my energy down.
Yeah,
and
sorry.
raise my microphone levels up. That's fine. It's a challenge for me. It forces me to do stuff. If I remember correctly, it must have been like Mayor's Gala 2018 or so. That
2 years ago, because I didn't do it last year.
Yeah, it was 2018.
And we actually met previous to that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Was that at the hair salon?
It was. Yeah.
See, I'm a very, very bad memory.
That's okay.
And I don't think I ever got a very good haircut from the hair salon. I went to Blowfish this past week.
Yeah.
And saw Alicia Scissorhands only because she used my community hashtag.
Yeah.
And then I saw her hair with Casey Polson.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this person likes color, and it looks like tie-dye, and her moniker is a emo cult film reference. I am going to go give her money.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's my sister-in-law.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we've worked a lot together. We've done creative shoots, a couple giveaways, but yeah.
So she's married to your brother then?
No, I'm married to her brother.
You're married to her brother. Yeah. Gotcha. Interesting. Small world. Because she was kind of explaining she came from like Victoria or something, like, and how Kamloops is not as vibrant in the art scene as obviously Victoria was. But going back to 2018, I think you were just getting back into photography at that time.
Yeah.
And I think it was because you took time off because your daughter.
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old, and I had stopped for a while. I sold all my gear. Because I just wanted to make sure that we were in the best spot financially to have a child, and regretted selling it for sure because I missed out on capturing some of those memories of her. But we bought it all back and actually upgraded my gear, and it's been kind of just snowballing since then. I did take time off when I had Leo as well, but I was definitely back at it way faster with him than with her.
Yeah, it's funny thinking about how, like, when kids come in and then, like, how women and men have different kind of work schedules at that point. Like, I took 3 days off, and that was, like, pushing it.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, I was getting it from the wife, but then, like, getting it from work at the time, and it was just like, what? Can't I just, like, have...
You can't win.
Can't win.
You can't win.
No, it was ridiculous. Like, I couldn't believe how short the rest period. And it wasn't rest, right? You're up in the middle of the night and in a smelly hospital. I hate hospitals.
They're awful.
They're the worst places.
Not Royal Inland is awful, but just hospitals in general.
The smell, the
awful.
vibe.
Yeah. I only stayed for one day and was like, can I please go? Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. And we weren't so lucky.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, there was complications. Baby, was breech. And it was emergency C, actually.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like 3 weeks early.
Oh.
That was exciting. That was an exciting morning. That was a 5 a.m.,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ella was late, and I was running, like, trying to get her out. And Leo was early, and he just was ready.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky that they were both very easy.
But now you're back taking photos.
Yeah. Usually about 3 bookings a week.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's been good though.
Like I'm calculating that in my head, and like that's plenty for like balancing 2 kids and
Well, Kyle works a 3-on, 3-off schedule, so I do my very best not to schedule on his work days, excluding weddings, of course, because they can't. Yeah, you don't get to.
Weddings are that's a fascinating subject in the sense of like how Kamloops kind of had like this wedding boom and bust because of the Calgary money a couple of years ago.
Oh, yes.
That might have been towards the end of your first getting out of photography or whatever.
Yeah, I think my first year was maybe 2018, 2017, and I did 5 or 6 weddings, and then the remaining years I've been doing 1 or 2. But I don't like to book as many because you're there for them 100%.
Yeah.
And so I prefer to only book 1 a month so that I can really focus on that one person or
That's
that one
fair.
couple.
That's fair. How do you deal with that stress and anxiety of being like, okay, like when you're dealing with creative works, when you're dealing with art, when you're dealing with commissioned pieces, you are commissioning something that is not yet produced. You don't know the final product. How do you tackle that as someone who has bills to pay? You have a livelihood, but also you can't reshoot a wedding after the wedding's done.
That's a very interesting subject. I found that, especially for weddings, people seek me out for what I create, and they know that it's not going to be the exact same. It's not cookie cutter. Everything is in the moment, and because I have a theater background, which is why I love to do events, weddings, everything like that, because it is on the go. It's like improv. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm so interested in events like that. And I always find that with photography, it is really a collaborative art. You take from the bride, from the groom, from the audience or the attendees, and you all create together. And I'm really lucky to have clients that respect that and actually want to be a part of that process. So yeah, that's that.
Nice. Yeah. What are you shooting on right now? Are you a believer of the hype of mirrorless, or are you staying full frame right now?
I just switched.
You just switched?
I just switched from Canon. I had been shooting Canon for 6 years, and I switched to a Sony A7 III 4 weeks ago, and it's amazing.
So that would be Sony's mirrorless
full frame, yeah.
Full frame that really is pushing into the video side of things.
It does, yeah, absolutely. 24 megapixels, shoots at 4K. It is amazing.
The stats these days get me. Like they're ridiculous. I get them all day long. I used to be a gear hype head, from the early 2000s as a kid or whatever, be on. But now we're at this point where like we have so much power. It's like, what do you do with it now? It's
true.
Because we the Kamloops photographers Facebook group is a vibrant activity, and you always will see those elites sometimes getting little up in their feelings about the consumers taking photos in their point and shoot. It's like guys, a decade ago, where would we be?
Well, and who cares? A lot of us have started as moms with cameras and have grown to build businesses
and developed an aesthetic that these old fogies can't replicate, which is hilarious to me, right? Like these 14-year-old Visco girls have developed a style that my wife wants to buy. Yeah. That's the reality of it.
It is. It's
my wife isn't picking the photographer. My wife is picking something that a girl in California probably started, an image. Well, actually, no, you can go probably back to, I was still in high school watching YouTube and watching these kids make these videos, like the aesthetic that you're seeing all the music pop stars do for their lyric videos. Yeah. They were doing a decade ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild.
And now they're also going back to a replicated film look as well. So it's kind of the old style with the new.
It's distressed jeans are kind of like the best explanation of like current culture right now. Is you don't want to buy too cheap of a distressed jeans. You want to distress them yourself, but there's a line of what's considered good distressing and what's not. It's fascinating how that whole grunge element is now something that they sell at far and wide, which is not a punk shop, but
No.
it has punk elements.
It's
to
relevant now.
Yeah.
I was talking with a girl who I grew up in kind of an emo phase. I
So
wasn't
emo kids,
Yeah.
scene kids.
Yeah. And how it's a very popular look now. It's not as dark as it used to be.
No.
It's more of a polished look. But how girls that made fun of us in high school for wearing that are now the ones wearing it themselves.
Yeah,
So it all kind of comes full circle.
and it's not even that it was like not colorful back in the day. It was. It just, you had to be the outcast of the outcast to wear
Yeah.
color, or really be that proud kid who wore the pink T-shirt.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how stupid it would be to like get bullied for wearing a pink T-shirt in school these days? Like, it's just absolutely mind blowing. Like not even a Chad would do it. 'Cause it,
Not even a Chad.
not even a Chad, right? A Kyle might, but not a Chad.
That's my husband's name.
Yeah. Kyles aren't real, just so you know.
No, they're not.
Birds aren't real either.
No, birds are not real.
Yeah, there's lots of things that aren't real.
I saw it on the internet, so.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's something. It's a narrative that I'm pushing right now because the government is feeding us information that the birds are real, and the governments are telling us all this stuff. For
Well, I
those who
believe
don't
that.
understand the joke or the meme, you should probably catch yourself up. What do you do outside of photography? What keeps you going? What keeps the creative light burning?
I drink a lot of coffee,
Seems to be
like a lot.
it seems to be like a theme for a lot of people. Are you at the point where you get like the caffeine headaches if you don't drink?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had to wean myself off.
I've tried to cut it down, but then there's those days where you're up at 4 a.m. with your kids and you have photos to get out and you gotta go.
Yeah. I'm lucky I don't have the 4 a.m.s with the kids. She sleeps
No?
in till like 6:45, like on the dot.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Leo's in that 1 year regression. So it's been rough. Yeah.
So yeah, we lucked out. The kid sleeps through the night.
Just all the time.
Yeah.
Every day forever.
Pretty well.
That's amazing.
Close to it.
I'm very jealous.
And she's quite good at going to bed too. So it's like we lucked out on the first one.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the case.
Ella was definitely the better sleeper. Leo, no.
Yeah.
He was just here to make problems.
I feel like second childs are always like more devious because I'm the second child. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was the oldest of many.
Of many.
I come from a blended family, so there are 3 sisters that I grew up with, both half and step, but we were kind of all together from the beginning, so
Gotcha.
sisters. And then I have 4 other siblings.
So 8 of you. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a big family.
It's big.
I don't know if we're gonna like. I could see big families coming back in the next generation, like just in like the crazy stupidity of things that we're seeing, like come back. Mm-hmm. Just for whatever reason, Gen Z just decided like we're gonna have 10 kids.
Yeah.
But
I'm good.
I'm good. No,
I like the 2 that I have, and I think I'm good now.
I think 2 is a good number. It's
Yeah.
like the replacement number, right? Like, isn't that like the whole point of like humanity? Is that you're at least supposed to replace yourself? So, so far, Canada's population is holding pretty strong. Mm-hmm. But what do you see in Kamloops that both excites you, but you're a little bit concerned as you're watching Kamloops go through this like very extreme cultural development right now? And I don't say extreme as in fast, but extreme as in like it's very stark where people sit on the line these days, especially concerning like the Performing Arts Center or just anything that just seems to, be very forward thinking, thinking like our kids when they're in high school could use X. What do you have, just seems to be the reoccurring thought?
I mean, I'm definitely a supporter of the Performing Arts Center. I've written about it in articles and interviews. I have a theater background. I have done theater since high school, and I would love to see the Performing Arts Center actually happen. I'm definitely going to be voting in the referendum on April 4th.
April 4th.
April 4th.
April 4th.
But the thing that I struggle with is seeing how upset people are about something like the Performing Arts Center. It's very frustrating to watch the comments and see just this huge opposition towards something that could be really good for Kamloops. So I think that's kind of the hardest thing to watch happen in Kamloops, that people don't want to see the development just because it is development of arts.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like they don't want to talk the business case either.
No.
Like
they just don't want it.
It's just here's the bottom line. It comes on my taxes.
Yeah. It's more of the not in my backyard kind of.
Yeah. It's wildly short-sighted, my opinion.
Yeah.
And I make that pretty obvious. How do you think, like, as a creative who, aside from voting in the referendum, how do you think we can help develop the conversation in a more positive light using what we do? Or is that something that we should just leave to the voting ballot?
No, I mean, you need to talk to people, as Mayor Ken said at the gala. You need to talk to 30 people. You need to chat with them about their concerns. You just need to have a voice.
Absolutely. And that's what I try and do with this. I try and get many voices, very different voices.
Yeah.
Yours is much softer. It's challenging. It's challenging for me to lower my voice and also to have that more like soft conversation.
Yeah. You're welcome for the challenge.
This would be like someone, trying to like do their first boudoir shoot. Like this is just like I'm good at matching tones online. Just like, right? In person, it's different, which is why I try and do this, because I feel like there is people online whose tones do not match what they would say next to me.
Yes, absolutely.
And there are things that I say online that I very much have no problem saying to people's faces. So,
well, you're just that kind of person.
I'm just that kind of person, right?
Yeah.
But I know how to play people a little bit, right? So it's, I don't want to get stabbed or anything, but
I promise not to stab you.
Thank you. I'm not worried about you.
Yeah.
There's other people. I got threatened to get tied up the other week by someone. That was funny. That was a rapper. He ended up deleting that. But.
Yeah, I would definitely go ahead and delete that.
He's not too smart, and I'm not too worried about him. I got a scarier rapper watching my back. But what do you think Kamloops, regardless of the Performing Arts Center, what do you think Kamloops needs to do to really show their support to those home-based artists, like those ones that don't want to fly the artist banner, don't want to buy the mayor's gala tickets, right? Like, what as a very grassroots thing do you think we can do to try and support the arts more in this town, given that it is a very Western, hey, let's go to Denny's for our date night town, which I saw happen the other day, and it was so sad.
Yeah, that's crazy. There are so many restaurants in here that are, small business and local base that are way better than Denny's. Like
way better. Well, to put it in perspective, we went to Bright Eye Brewing for a date.
Oh yeah.
Had the charcuterie, had the flight of taster beers, had pizza and a burger, and then went to Denny's.
Well, that's allowed.
Yeah. Denny's was the pancake dessert.
Yeah.
And then we saw someone, who was there for that was their date night. They were on their phones, and then she had chicken tendies and mashed potatoes and steamed corn.
Chicken tenders are pretty good, but there are other places to get them.
Where are you going to eat on the North Shore?
On the North Shore, I love Bright Eye Brewing. And also Jamaican Cafe.
Jamaican Kitchen.
Jamaican Kitchen.
Jam Can.
So good.
No, Jamaican Kitchen. I went there on my wedding day, actually.
Oh, did you?
In the old one, 8th Street. Before Kamau moved it and into the new, the renovated Donut King.
Yeah.
Never went to the Donut King, but if you've never been to Donut King up in Sahali, really good donuts. Well worth it. Old school Tim Hortons, like unrenovated Tim Hortons in that Donut King. If you've never been, it's well worth it. Good coffee too.
They have the salad rolls that are really good too.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, because are they Vietnamese?
Yeah. Well, the salad rolls are,
Yeah. They've owned that Tim Hortons for like decades. Like they were one of the original Tim Hortons, and then Tim Hortons wanted to like force them to get a whole bunch of upgrades, and then they just refused and just did it themselves ever since. And like that's true Canadiana.
I was gonna say that's the dream.
That's the dream, right? You know, and their food's better. Like it's fresh. Like you see them taking their baked donuts out. Like they still bake them in house. They don't do that at Tim Hortons.
No, they don't.
This whole donut gate thing's got me like real pissed off about how people are mad that Trudeau went and bought made in Canada donuts from a local.
How dare he, right?
How dare he not support a Brazilian conglomerate organization that sells us frozen baked goods that have no taste anymore.
No.
And if you like Tim Hortons, you're more than welcome to, fight me on that. What's something you think people often misunderstand about you?
Recently I had people tell me that I didn't think I fit in with the rest of a group.
Group as in like an artistic group or just like a Facebook group or
just a bunch of other photographers in town. We all went out for a like an end of the year party to kind of celebrate the fact that we made it through wedding season, and people didn't think I felt very comfortable, but I was totally comfortable. I just didn't feel the need to kind of schmooze around. I was happy where I was.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm not a huge social person. I don't go out all the time.
Yep.
But I'm not completely introverted.
Yeah, it's called an ambivert when you're at that point.
I can do it for 2 hours and then I'd like to go home.
Sure. Or you have a mission.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You have a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go with an open-ended thing of like, I'll be here for 4 hours and you're expected to be there.
Yeah.
You'll find me in the corner on my phone.
Yeah.
Just straight up.
Yeah. I mean, I was having a great time, but I just didn't want to work the room with my, like peers, people that I know, and I didn't feel the need.
People are funny when they think that like you need to business develop how they business develop. Mm-hmm. Totally missing that like maybe I don't even care about the money. B,
I was there for the food. So.
Yeah. B, like that might not be my clientele, right? Like I've turned down way more money than I want to admit to.
Yeah.
But those were all projects that were not worth the effort. And and other people look at that and be like, "You're ruining your business. How do you turn down money?" And it's like, well, when money comes around to bite you.
Yeah. I mean, I've turned down a couple projects because it just wasn't the right fit. I've had clients that we just don't kind of mesh together, and that's totally fine. Like, you're not everyone's cup of tea. You don't have to work for everybody, and there is your ideal client out there, and that is who you should be catering to.
How are you, like, I know you put a fair bit into Facebook ads. How, before that, like, because you had to get money to even buy those Facebook ads, how did you get your first 5 clients?
Well, when I first started, it was with the Actors Workshop Theater.
Okay.
Because I was attending for the theater program, and so I did their show photos and headshots, and it kind of just kept going from there. I continued to do headshots because the feedback that I was getting is that, wow, that's me in that photo? Like, that's what I look like? Oh my God.
That's just tough.
Was like, yeah. Well, because you have to capture the person as they are, but the best version.
Yeah. And
how they see themselves as well. So it's a whole different realm of photography than an event or anything else. It's
just like social media stuff when I make for people, and like you make it and you know they're going to hate it and not put it.
Yeah.
But you ask them, like, give me an example, and they refuse. It's just like, I want to see how you see yourself so I can replicate it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can develop your voice, your tone, your image for you.
Yeah.
Or I can put together a concept that just destroys your image but breaks down what elements I need from you to then help build it for you. But people are just very, very scared. very scared
Yeah.
to put themselves out there, which I find hilarious coming from, I'm a rather actually private person online, but I'm online there fucking, hey, I'm going to say whatever is on my mind and be as transparent as possible. And that in itself, I don't know. It's not as scary as people think it is either.
No, and I think people connect with the real and raw emotions that you can put out there. And it shows, I mean, on Instagram, if you look at your, all the data, then you can see that for me, the posts that do the best are the ones where I'm like, hey guys, I was in my pajamas today and this is what I look like.
I don't even look at that data. I've turned off like business profiles on my IG. I feel like so many people are caught up in the metrics of comparing other people's metrics that they don't have the capabilities to develop their own metrics for actually developing a sense of style and voice. And that's where we're at right now, where the influencer economy is at like valued at like $5 billion right now.
Yeah, it's huge.
And by 2024 or something, it's gonna be like 22 billion, but it's gonna dry up at that point. Like the arena, the players, the characters, the hierarchy has been set. Right? So like right now is like the, hey, figure out your voice.
Yeah.
Because the next 4 years, it's going to be, essentially rebuilding Hollywood.
Oh.
If you want to think of it that way, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't just go and blow up in Hollywood over years. Like you got to get yourself to LA.
Yeah.
You got to do the grind, whatever be, and then you make it, right? Social media is basically LA. And if you start thinking of it like that, it's like, okay, I'm either at the comedy club grinding it out on stage, or I'm sweeping at the up after. And it's interesting watching people do it, right? And photographers are funny because your personal brand is developing other people's personal brands.
It's true. Right now I'm actually working on color matching for an influencer and trying to still stay true to my own style, but still be marketable in hers. And luckily our colors are very similar, which is why she went with me. And it's not too difficult, but I'm having a good time with the challenge. Like, I think it's very interesting to see what I would do, how I would edit it, and how she would edit it herself.
Yeah, I'm very punk rock in like my aesthetic.
Yeah.
Because I'm quick, fast, and don't care.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work with women that you work with, right? So I've been messing around with Heather Monahan's brand.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Been working with her, and she's got a very feminine brand, but also I don't think she wants the pink aesthetic that like your clientele kind of are drawn to. And I got it right away. Like, she likes black, white, and red. And I got it right away. But then I see her like, working with other people's colors and stuff too, as she figures it out, which is great. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's fascinating watching someone at that caliber, and obviously this is all my opinion, someone at that caliber is still being affected by other people's aesthetic vibe, trends. And I'm talking with her, and I'm like, I want to take that, but let's develop the 2.0 version, because you're going to be scrolling past it if it's always that blush pink, that turquoise, that baby blue, it's very interesting how people are really starting to understand how important color is. And they're just starting to learn how important emojis are, let alone color.
That's true.
But what trends in photography do you see right now, and what do you predict? Do you think we're ever gonna get back to the days of just like nice, clean, like glossy, hey, this is how the camera printed it photos, or we think we're at this stage where we need to?
It's everywhere. Everyone has their own styles. I see a lot of wedding photographers out of the States. They are still in that modern, clean look. Very minimal editing, just very polished look.
All in camera, mostly.
Yeah, mostly. The thing is that when you shoot a raw file, you are meant to edit it.
RAW is a type of photography format that basically lets you break it down to every minimal point so you can edit it all. JPEG basically is like a photocopier, if you think of it that way, if you're not familiar with photography. But
yeah, it's a very compressed file. You can't adjust the white balances as easily. Some people, so there are many famous photographers that only shoot in JPEG. That's
Really?
it. Yeah.
Interesting.
And very minimal processing, and that's their style. That's what they...
It's like a homage to like dark room photography in like a really weird modern way.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people with Sonys do it because you can get away with it.
I have like, a little T3i or whatever. Honestly, I need to like find all the pieces and put it back together, make sure it works.
Yeah.
Because it's that type that it got beaten up, but
yeah, the T3i will live forever.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I never bother with RAW because it's just like my thing's always like I don't want to process. Like I like the idea of like RAW being like raw. Hey, it's cut, it's dry.
Yeah.
And I like the extreme non-filter, but I also like this point where like going extreme filtered, extreme distorted.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that aesthetic with that 14 to early 20s emo. Really, the trash vibe is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly enough, very strong in Argentina. There's a very, very like niche group of kids in Argentina who are very good at making the style of like Lil Peep trash Instagram posts.
I'll have to look at that.
I don't know how I fell into it, but I fell into it. And it's crazy though, like when you look at like even Kanye West putting out The Life of Pablo.
Yeah.
How he's stealing these concepts from whether you want to call it Pablo Picasso or whether you're calling it Warhol or whether you're calling a kid, a high school kid in Argentina.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain art right now because every time you think you catch up, something's different.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right? Just like how, you would never see someone with full sleeve tattoos and, our younger years working in a professional setting.
Yes.
Now you have them managing banks.
Exactly.
It's an exciting time.
It's like what, sorry?
It's an exciting time.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
But, confused. We're getting close to the 40-minute mark. Emily, what's something you want to talk about that we haven't maybe touched on?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really have much else to say.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30 minutes is a plenty long podcast. The trick is, of course, getting up there, which I should have. What I've been doing lately is, and I'm going to record this so people hear it and understand.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to teach people in this town how to do things. Because, the faster they catch up to me, then the faster we can move forward. I'll put this on my podcast, normal, whatever it be, but I take the audio, I throw it into Windows Photos. I take a photoshopped photo, I throw a little bit of animation and text on it, I export it, now it's a video file, and I throw it up on Facebook, and now it's a premiere. And now people can listen to it, not with being on podcasts. Because Kamloops loves Facebook. Like
They do, yeah.
There's nothing but Facebook in this town. Like IG is safe for creators almost.
Yeah.
Like it's a special pocket of creators.
It's more of like an international recognition versus the local I've found. I market towards Kamloops though, so I kind of stay on Facebook.
Yeah. It's Facebook moms can make or break you in this town.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Like if you get them clucking.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't use that term, but hey, if they came after me, that would be hilarious.
They'd break you.
I don't know. I think I'd be up to the challenge.
Yikes.
I think technically I would get up on them, but I think, the overwhelming wave would eventually just wear me down and I would just surrender.
Yeah. It's probably for the best.
It's probably for the best. which is fascinating because, I haven't really seen it occur in like a super positive way just yet, or in like a bigger political sense or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's always been very petty little things. I'm waiting for the day that like I really see Kamloops collectively just like force something.
Yeah.
Like imagine just one day Mel Rothenberger was just not there online, but I can dream. I can dream. I'll get him on my podcast first. Anyways.
I will definitely listen to that one.
Yeah, I'll smoke a lot of weed and then talk to him. That's if he ever gets back to me. I don't know. I think I've burned that bridge probably too many times. It happens.
You never know.
Where can people find you? What is the best way to communicate you? As in, what is your preferred method? Because for me, I like IG in the sense that I have text, I have photos, I have GIFs, and I can use voice notes when I want. What's the best way to people reach out to you?
Facebook, Instagram, or email. I like a good old-fashioned email.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Emails are horrible.
I know.
I have like 1,000 that I just don't read.
It's very handy. Keep everything all in one spot.
The only emails I like are when people are sending me money. But then I get a text message notification that I get the money. So I don't really like email.
I kind of hang out on all of them. I definitely talk to more clients on the day-to-day through Instagram, and I spend a lot of time on stories. So
yeah, stories is fascinating, watching like the Chamber and starting to see other restaurants start to develop their sense of what they want to represent them in that 15 seconds. And IG Stories 9x16 it's a fascinating format, in my opinion, because it really, you go back 5 years and, turn your phone, right?
Yeah.
And now kids have forced us to accept that 9x16 is a format to be taken seriously. Portrait video is a serious format.
Yep.
And now you're seeing this new sense of like, okay, well, you could just film, but really you have like the equivalent of like 3 panels on top of each other. Like the whole format is like being ripped apart. And when you start thinking of it more like a comic book than a video on a phone, you can get some really like interesting, creative, and innovative stuff. So we're at this point where like people are just getting onto it. But if you start getting into like, I see what you do. You've been layering your photos, and you've had like the paper tears, and it's very
kind of the aesthetic,
of thing. The nice, but it breaks out because it's now 3 points, right? Like it's not, here's a photo that was, JPEG, raw, nothing done, boom, and the animation. That's the next step. I really believe in cartoons and cereal.
I love cartoons. You'll see me comment a ton of them.
Yeah, cartoons and cereal. Kendrick Lamar. He teaches you all you need to know. That song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all you need to know about understanding, brainwashing the masses. That's what this is.
That's what it is.
Thank you for listening to Cameo with Nevin Webster. Little bit, lower energy vibe, a little bit quieter. Thank you, Emily, for meeting with me. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, be sure to check her out wherever she said to check her out. Facebook, Instagram, Emily May Photography. Join the Kamloops Photography Facebook group if you're interested in photography. They're a very, very supportive, very active community. And here's something that a lot of people miss when they join larger Facebook groups for photography or forums or something, is they miss that local community aspect. That local community aspect brings a sense of accountability that you do not get from, a massive group. So finding those small niche groups, they really make you step up your game. I know this because it's true, because I'm involved in a couple of them that have really pushed me to not fuck around as much. But hey, it's fun. It's 2020. We're going to do some big things. Thank you for listening. Be sure to join the community, and peace.